677-8567-68.
Tout vêtu de blanc ce matin, il nous a rejoint Monsieur EMMANUEL. CHIANGONG, bonjour et bienvenue.
Good morning, Mr. Etienne. Good to have you also.
I'm sure he would be happy because you've added a Mr. there today. He's like, wow.
Yes, of course, he's Mr. He's Mr.
Si vous ne m'appelez pas Monsieur EMMANUEL connaît ma valeur.
I do call you at times. Not all the time though, but most of the times I do say it. Well, good morning, Mr. CHIANGONG. Welcome.
How are you, ma'am? And you, ma'am?
I'm fine. I'm fine. We thank God. Everything is perfect.
Good to have you also.
Well, good to have you on set today.
And lovely televiewers. It's so lovely to have you also.
Okay, and I know they are equally glad having you on set because they know that once you're here, they are going to draw so many interesting things from you. They're going to learn a lot. And today we will talk on another subject again, or maybe still on the same subject, since we are December and we still keep talking about abuse and whatsoever, little things that people do which they actually think are doing good to their health, to their system during this month of December. Meanwhile, it is causing havoc. So, Mr. CHIANGONG, let us share from your table.
Let us share. Thank you very much. It's good to know that we are conscious of the month of December, the end of the year. The community of the human being moves in a cycle of where events are, and the Christians will think of the period of the birth of Christ, they'll think of the period of the death of Christ, and they look forward to these two strategic poles at the end of the year. They make like the majority of the population, one of the big communities in the world, in Cameroon, of course. I know we have other religions, but interestingly, many other activities have tied to it. So there's a commercial interest which are tied to these events of celebration. And this one that ties with the end of the year is not just Christian, it's also the end of a period of evaluation. And most people say, okay, if I have made a beautiful outcome at the end of this period, then let me celebrate. It's a time to say I was able to add 1 year full in a certain activity, let me celebrate. And then someone who says at the end of this period I haven't made it good enough, he said it's an opportunity for me to take it all over again. So it's a very strategic time. And so people have attached the coming together in this period. Families come together, communities come together. Junkies broke their banks, as we say. People go to their savings to see what they saved in the year. Projects are initiated for the next year. So there's a lot of financial, material, and physical interaction activities associated to this. And so there is something, interestingly, in the spirit to sell. The business people have also heightened the level of psychological stimulation of the desire to buy. So we are in a position of danger. There is a threat. And I have to put it this way. The tendency is for you to buy what you do not need because there is an intensity in the market to seduce buying. And this intensity heightens because it is a period when people receive gratifications, when people receive new promotions like the police officers. And Amod, félicitations, tu as un deuxième galon. Amod, my friend who is the traffic police, he just told me yes, you are one of the greatest men in this country, really, and I have a lot of respect for you. And so there are a lot of promotions, and I think in the military also they have new epaulets and so on. So you realize strategically the business community, you know, focuses on this period and stimulates the desire to buy. And there's a lot of emotional buying. So you have to be more careful. Spiritually, you have to meditate more and reflect. It is not necessary for you to move into that speed because after the 31st is the first. It's just a new year that begins. And if you took so much for the 31st, it will not serve you for the rest of because every day has its need. The first will give you another need, the second will give you another need, and so on. And of course, excess can always do harm. What I'm trying to say is that there is an area in the whole spirit of dealing with human. You know, when I talk beauty, I'm talking about the human being because it has nothing to do with your hairstyle or your make. No, these are indicators, but the whole person who decides on the hairstyle, on the makeup, on the nail length, at the height of the shoe and the dress is a psychologically functioning being with 3 dimensions of expression that must be appreciated, and a balance has to be created in it so that decisions can be beautiful. You'll be realizing feeling that during this time you take in so much because there is a hysteria that is managing everything. You see, little children tell me, you see, there is no time in the year when the children ask for grand goûter. You know, they have a goûter every day. Now they tell me of a grand goûter. And then my son is telling me that I need to give a gift to my teacher. And I said, what? He said,
that
wine.
He needs to give a gift to his teacher.
And he said, and I said, what? He said, wine. And I mean,
wine.
She has barely seen me drink wine. And he said I should give wine. And they say, okay, if daddy, you are not giving a wine, give a watch. And then I asked him, are you working? He said, yes. No. I said, then how do you get the money to buy a watch or wine to give to your teacher? I said, when you coming back from church, you bring me a flower that you pick on the way. And I'm very happy. So give a flower to your teacher. Or you write a poem for him. You know, but you see, there is a hysteria even in the schools.
Yeah. Wow.
Because we are in this period, there is a hysteria of stimulating celebration.
Parce qu'on accorde du prix au présent et non de la valeur.
Yes, but what I'm trying to point out is that this period has a disease. Let me put it, there is a mental disorder during this period,
December,
which must be regulated in a national way. So that is why we have to have a general national counseling, so that to bring people into order. Because if children already are getting hysteric at this basic 6, 7, 8 years, then there is a whole animation, and it is done by people who are supposed to be mentors, guides, teachers. And I am saying that this is out of order. And just to go on further, you will realize that I asked them, do your teachers participate in the goûter? And she says, yes, they take part in the goûter. I asked them, do they also bring goûter on that day? He says, you know, so listen, what I'm trying to ask is that, how come that teachers have to be at the receiving instead of at the giving end?
Yeah, that's
when
very true.
did this happen?
That's
and so
true.
listen, this is now the beauty of the mind that is suffering. And when the beauty of the mind is suffering because you are eating unnecessarily and heavily, you will reflect funny beauty of the body. And the beauty of the body will go on into dimensions that have no shape. You see, somebody will tell me that, okay, I'll take an enema and eat out of order, and then from January I'll start starving. Your body is not an elastic limit, it's not having an elasticity without limitation. There is a time, it's a plastic body, and when you go over the elastic limit, you will have a permanent deformation. And this is very, very important. When you carry some of those scars on your body, which have coming from scars in your mind, and you feel uncomfortable, and you spend the rest of your life, which would certainly be blessed to be long, feeling like there is something inadequate in you, I think that you will also transmit that to the people who still love you and who look up to you with great expectations. I think seriously that we need to do a national counseling to examine the way we jump into this hysteria. Wherever the stimulation is coming from, Sandrine, I can say right away.
All right, so before we take leave of you, to read the time, maybe one advice to the parents out there. You know, they might be faced with situations like what you just faced with yours. I mean, others would go mad and they might treat the children in a bizarre way. So how can they do?
Have a dialogue. Like I told my kid, are you working? He said no. So you should start knowing that you spend from where you earn. You know, I said, if I'm doing an investment, it's out of love and I'm borrowing it. There's a psychological borrowing attached to it. But what I'm trying to point out is that have a dialogue with the kids, because sometimes the stimulation comes from the teachers. Because actually I asked, did the teacher ask for it? He said no. But the teachers don't really ask verbally. Sometimes they have unconsciously sent the message. And children are so sensitive to details because they have a high level of purity that they can always pick information and dilute and you know and concentrate them into a message, which is actually that they can even read your attitudes and your behavior. So they cannot pick it. Their idea couldn't have come from space. And if he moved from wine to a watch, I think he's looking at a man. And his teacher is a male. Because he is a boy and he's looking at it that way. If it were female, he may maybe say a perfume or something. So you look at that, these children actually read you very well. So we have to be extra cautious. Sometimes we teach mathematics, arithmetic, geography, but we do not have the ability to guide children, which is a central issue of it. So I think that parents also have a lot of experience.
Well, the big word I've retained this morning is caution. We need to be very cautious with our kids. Whatever they bring back home, let's pay attention to them and know how to talk to them and how to guide them. Maybe 1 minute for Mr. Chiangong to give her the locality,
yes, please.
locations and also the numbers.
be happy to receive you at Viva Coiffure Bonapriso. We are there on Saturday afternoons and on Sunday afternoons. That's just near La Croissanterie. And come to on Tuesdays in Cité des Palmiers. On Wednesdays, I meet you there. And of course, every morning till midday, I am at the school in Rue Benabe Aqua. And of course, on Facebook, you can come to us, Emmanuel CHIANGONG, and Messenger. And why not, you know, come on YouTube and see some of the things we do.
Okay.
With love.
We just hope one of these days we would have something live to
promise then.
Make our televiewers more confident.
Promise.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. CHIANGONG, for stopping by. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It was a pleasure having you. But time is no longer on our side, and so we have to draw the curtains at this level. Thank you once again. Love you lots, and see you tomorrow. Good morning, Etienne.
Bonjour Sandrine et bonjour à nos amis téléspectateurs qui ont bien voulu commencer cette autre journée en notre compagnie. On espère que la belle expérience sera récidivée donc demain lorsqu'il sera 7 h. Vous serez là, nous serons là, Inch'Allah. À demain.